Hey, what's up everyone? Gordon Briley here with episode 2 of Home Gym Hacks. So I told everyone I was going to actually share how I made my platforms and what is special about these platforms. And when it comes to home gyms, most people are using plywood and rubber, and I wanted to think of something that was one, because I sell these for my business. I wanted to think of something that was lightweight but ultra durable. So I started researching different products out there and how they actually got them to be lightweight. So what I figured out was using a foam core instead of using solid plywood. But when we think about foam, obviously we're going to think about compression, and most foam is pretty compressible and it doesn't have a high PSI rate. So pounds per square inch, and that's compressive. So what I did was start to research what's really out there, because I know that they put this under concrete slabs and stuff like that. So depending on which ones you actually look for, they all have different purposes. So one might be for in the walls of a house, but again, there is different types out there. So I just found the right type for the purpose that I wanted. So this platform that I made here is with this lightweight core. I think it weighs maybe 26 pounds. I can literally just pick it up with one arm. So making it this where I can ship it, obviously with the cost of things shipping right now especially, this was really important that we could do this, because a lot of people don't buy platforms because they are so expensive to ship. But that's part of the problem that I was trying to solve. So what it is, inside this platform is what's called, I think it's Owens Corning, it is called Foamular 250. So that just kind of in a way describes its compression rating, which is 25 pounds per square inch. And it doesn't sound like a lot, but that actually, when you put another, this is HDPE on top of it, when you seal this core inside of the HDPE and on the bottom side is actually plywood, this compression rating goes up drastically, because you're dispersing the force through the HDPE onto this, which already has a high compression load. So there's no way that you could compress this foam through this HDPE. So now we have this lightweight core. Of course, cost too. Plywood right now is outrageous. So this, I can't remember exactly what it was per sheet, but let's just say at max $20. So for a full 4x8 sheet, so you can actually build 2 platforms out of this. And then the HDPE, so that's high density propyl something. I can't remember it. Propyl, yeah, I don't know. I can't remember exactly, but it's a really common plastic. It's very strong. It doesn't break. It's not brittle. And this stuff that I actually got, I was getting it from a different company, but I found out they actually had it locally at Menards. So this is 1/4 inch thick. And at Menards, they actually have one with a surface that's muted, so it has more grip to it, and the other side is really shiny. I actually like this really shiny side when I'm Olympic lifting. So you just have to make sure the surface is clean, but if your shoes are clean and the surface is clean, it's actually a really good surface for that type of lifting. But just for more grip, I actually use the muted side. So I think this was about $60 for a full 4x8 sheet. Again, you're gonna have the opportunity to make either 2 platforms, or what I show you in a second, you could do slightly different the way that I did it, and I did it the way I did to make it more affordable. So for me, hopefully you guys can see this, on the bottom side, I just used 1/4 inch plywood. And the whole goal for this platform was to create it at a certain width. So I actually bought Titan's rubber tiles that are 1.5 inches thick. So I wanted the mat to actually, or the platform to be that same thickness. So there is no step down or step up when you go across this. But actually with mine, I have a rail system that goes in between the platform and then the rubber so you can connect all kinds of bands and a ton of different accessories to it. But that's also at 1.5 inches, so it flows right across it. So with this one, I'll kind of just go over the general construction, some of the pieces that I used. But the way that I increase the strength, because what's going to happen is the part that's going to be most susceptible to getting damaged or that compression would be the edge portion of this. So I had to think of a way to actually reinforce this very outside perimeter, because that's where the weights are most likely to hit too. So not only is there high compression load foam, HDP on top of that, but what I did is when I cut my width, there was leftover, so I make sure there was leftover so I could cut strips. So this is the same exact thickness as the foam. So I have 1/4 inch plywood, 1 inch foam, and then 1/4 inch HDPE on top. So with that, with this being 1 inch, I cut 1 inch strips, the same width, and then I actually inset it. So when I cut the foam is 1/4 inch smaller than this top piece. So I could actually insert these 1 inch strips inside, and then on the corners, you just have to cut one corner right there, one corner a little bit shorter on the one side, all the way around. That way it'll tuck right inside and be nice and flush, so it looks really good. Because mine's after something I sell, so I want it to look good and form good. So now, when connecting all the pieces, I just found all the different centers. Everything matches all the way around. So this is stuff that you guys can figure out. I don't want to spend too much time giving all the little details, but just drilled holes. So I made a little jig that I clamped down, drilled the holes right where they go all the way around, and then 1/4 inch bolt. And then on the bottom side is actually a T-nut. So I'll press this up through. I put a washer just to have some area to actually pull down, hold it down. So I just run it through, all the way through, and then tighten it up. So that's a flat surface on the bottom. Obviously you can't have anything on the bottom or else it won't sit flat. So it's actually really, really simple and really affordable. So one thing that I would think about, and this is really cool, is if you're gonna build it yourself and you can get one that has, I got at Menards, that has the polished side on one side of the 4x8 sheet or the muted side on the other. If you're only gonna make one platform, cut the 4x8 sheet in half, and then instead of using plywood like I did, that was for cost, put the shiny side on one side and then put the other side, instead of the plywood, the opposite. Now you can flip your platform and have different surface types on it, which is super sweet. So overall cost, once you have the hardware, the HDP, the foam, is still gonna probably be maybe $100 at most. And then, like I said, I actually I bought the Titan Fitness because free shipping, they're pretty affordable there. So I just bought the 1 foot by 1 foot rubber tiles, and then I just stacked them on the side. I'll show a picture of how I set it up. But all in all, that's kind of it. I actually, if you can see this, I have a panel saw, so that makes life super easy because you can cut upright. Not everyone's going to have that, doesn't matter. So you can just kind of figure that out. Table saw, probably most likely want to use a table saw. But anyone that's looking to do this stuff on their own is probably going to be perfectly okay using tools and stuff like that. So I think that's probably enough for you guys to be able to build this. Obviously you can ask me questions and I'll try to help you as much as I can. I do sell these, of course. If you're someone that doesn't want to do this, but you like the idea of it, they are super cool, super durable, and awesome because you can just pick them up. I think it would be cool to to actually cut out 2 little handles. That's something you could do. That way you can just pick it up, set it against the wall, hang it. One single handle, maybe if you move these somewhere else. A lot of different things you can do it, but most of it's just thinking of the ideas and searching out products that will actually be viable and not damage. Worst case scenario, if you did compress this somehow, if you dropped a weight from overhead or something and it did give a slight compression, you just unscrew it and replace a pretty cheap piece of the actual foam product. Now the one thing I did do is I special ordered at like Home Depot. You can get Menards, all these different places. Typically you're only going to be able to get Foamular 150 at 1 inch. And remember, you can also get this in lots of different thicknesses. So if you have rubber that you want to match up, so let's say you want an inch overall, you could get a 1/2 inch of the foam and then quarter inch, and then you just make it match up to whatever you have. So, but anyways, what I was saying is 150 is typically what you'll have, and that's probably more than enough. I actually spent extra and special ordered Foamular 250, so you're probably not going to be able to get that. Maybe you can, that'd be great. Maybe just spend a little bit more and have a little bit more of that extra compression, that load factor. But for someone that's just doing this at home and you can get it easy, that one, Foamular 150, there's different brands too that carry the same type of product. So you just look for the PSI load rating on that. But all in all, if you do compress it somehow, big deal. Take it out, replace it, cost you 20 bucks. So hopefully you guys like this. I'm going to keep making different videos of different pieces that I have that I think that you guys could create yourself, because to me it's all about community and sharing information, and ultimately that's what I really wanted to do, was create that environment where we could all succeed and not spend a bunch of money blowing our wads on a bunch of really overpriced equipment. So I love seeing you guys do the DIY stuff. So let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.